Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Today, I wanted to answer the question, what is a real estate agent? What is their job supposed to be? I'm going to share with you what probably 99% of agents don't know to start off with. If you're a fellow agent and you already knew this, comment down below. So first of all, the job of a real estate agent is to be a fiduciary. Now, the other industries that I'm familiar with, what a fiduciary is mainly attorneys and financial advisors. A specialty financial advisor may be a fiduciary. So real estate agent and attorneys, the best professional jokes can be made about these two industries. What does Google say about fiduciary? A person who holds a legal or ethical relationship of trust with one or more parties. Typically, a fiduciary prudently takes care of money or other assets of another person. So where does this fiduciary relationship come from? So if you want to join me down nerd lane, I'm going to put my glasses on to go along with this. So a fiduciary actually comes from slave law. So when I talk about slaves, I don't mean US. I don't mean the United States and what's happened in our history. I actually mean further back, if you think biblical times, slave law, servant law. I want to interchange fiduciary, servant, and slave, all kind of think of them as the same thing. So I really think as a realtor and a fiduciary, I'm a servant. When I work with a client, I am their servant. I'm doing what's in their best interest. An example of this would be Alexander Hamilton. So when he was a teenager, he worked for a trader in St. Croix, and he worked there 5 months and was completely in charge. And one thing he did was he fired an attorney. He helped the owner make more profit. He got rid of, people that weren't doing the business right. And so he took care of it like it was his baby, right? It's hard to find people that care, I think, today about others that much. But as a fiduciary, that is what we're supposed to do. We're actually supposed to care about our clients' best interests more and above our own. That is the first step. The second step is, what are you hiring a realtor to do, right? So if you're a home seller, their job is to sell your house and get you the best terms. Now, most people think money is the best term, and it may or may not be. Money is great, but closability is even better. There was one time in my career where I had a mortgage company. Out of 5 deals, this one mortgage company only closed one time. And so I sold a house where I told the sellers I'd already had some bad experiences. I don't remember what order they were in this 5 deals with this company, but I said, hey, I've got some bad experience. As the seller, they could request the buyer get pre-approved with somebody else to have a secondary pre-approval. And so I didn't push for that to happen. And actually, within a few days later, we got another offer from a buyer. Now, because they were already contractually under contract with the first buyer, they could not get out of it and sell to the other buyer. The other buyer moved on and bought something else. The deal fell apart and ruined our relationship, unfortunately. Now, what I've taken from that experience, right? Sometimes we learn and sometimes we earn. In that case, I learned. And so what I've taken from that experience is now we have multiple CRMs in our business, customer relationship management tools. And when we have a lender, we always keep up with the results that we had with that lender. If closing was delayed, if closing didn't happen, we also keep the same records for appraisers. So if an appraiser more than once has underappraised a property, we know that, and we can reference that if we need to dispute an appraisal, which comes up. We keep all the home inspection results in our database. So when we have a home inspector who has a bad bedside manner, a home inspector who is overly negative, or a home inspector who may be overly sensational, right? And they ruin a deal not because the house is bad, but because the inspector's bad, then it's great to have that information. So I feel like that's where experience is such a key factor. Why a lot of people, it's hard when you start in this business because you don't have that experience, and why sometimes people decide to join teams because they can automatically assume the experience of the team and the database and the information the team has, right? So what is an agent's job? For a seller, again, to get the best terms. That means the price. That means closing date. That means inspections or no inspections. All the details of the contract, maybe shorten if there is a due diligence period, an inspection period, maybe we shorten that. Maybe we make sure it's closability. So if we have a cash offer versus a financing offer, well, what's better for the seller? Is it better to get a little bit more money and take the risk of financing? Is it better to have the guarantee of cash? Everyone's different. So that's where being a fiduciary and an experienced fiduciary is so important, because we can really advise people based on what is most important to them, and not to us, but to them. For a home buyer, sometimes it can be the opposite things of what we talk about for a home seller. So is to try to negotiate the best deal, the best terms, maybe having inspections or knowing history of a house if they're willing to waive inspections, maybe finding a deal. For a home buyer, maybe it's finding a deal. Maybe it's advice on where to go for mortgage, where to go for insurance, hand-holding along the way. What are the things to do? Maybe if it's even before that, what to do to put yourself in the position to where you want to be. Where do you want to live? How much do you want your house to be? How much do you want your house payment to be? How can we make that happen for you? Can we do to get you what you want the most? And how can I advise you best on how to get there? I hope you enjoyed this stroll to learning something new. I imagine most people didn't know that. If you did know that, comment below. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Continue to join me. Feel free to reach out anytime if there's ever anything I can do for you. If you need a fiduciary or you need me to connect you with a great fiduciary recommendation, please reach out. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.